This is Ashleigh Gurskey talking about my performance-based project for Education 513 Online, Models of Teaching. I chose to do my performance-based project on Madeline Hunter's Instructional Theory into Practice, also known as ITIP. It is a teacher decision model. Some instructional strategies that I used: reinforcing prior knowledge and effective feedback, setting clear objectives before each lesson, providing recognition, whether it was positive or negative, summarizing what we were learning about, providing practice skills, assigning homework, using graphic organizers, and identifying similarities and differences between the coins. The subject I chose to work with was math, and it is on the second grade level. Our unit that we are working on currently is money. The topic of this lesson is dimes, nickels, and pennies, and it is lesson 1 of the unit. What are the essential questions, you may ask? Well, we start with our strategies that can be used to count money. How can you find the value of a group of dimes, nickels, and pennies? How can you find multiple ways to make a set amount of money? The ways that we're going to connect the information: we're going to build on prior knowledge of our coins and the value of each coin that we're currently working with. We're going to also build on the prior knowledge of counting by tens, fives, and ones. In my classroom, I always allow my kids to stand up out of their seats to get their blood pumping and get their brains focused on counting by tens, fives, and ones. We do a lot of across the body movements, punching in the air, jumping out of our seats, jumping up and down, leaning on our desk. They're all ways to get the blood moving and build on their knowledge. Setting clear expectations for each objective of our lesson. We're going to practice the skills and use various ways to work throughout our problems that we're learning about. We will be using several different graphic organizers and skills through our math stations and seat work. So topic 5, lesson 1, day 1. These lessons will be focused on direct instruction, guided instruction, collaborative learning, and independent practice. The first part of the lesson is focusing on the direct instruction with modeling, and it will be teacher directed. I do it. The prior knowledge I will build on would be asking my students, what do we know about coins already? How are we going to differentiate between dimes, nickels, and pennies? Do they all look alike? Are they the same color? Those are some questions that I will be building their prior knowledge on. We will use the smartboard and the Elmo projector to go over the difference of the coins, and we'll make a list of what is different about them and what is the similarities. We will be setting clear objectives for using coins during seat work and station work. The next part of the lesson is the guided instruction with the whole class. We do it together. We will start by building prior knowledge of counting by the tens, fives, and ones. We will be using the smartboard notebook, and we will talk about the different ways we can make 17 cents. After finding multiple ways to make 17 cents, I will proceed by allowing my students to create their own way to make 17 cents with their seat work partner. How I would do this would be as the example goes on. Class, after making 17 cents several different ways by using the dimes, nickels, and pennies, it's now your turn to come up with another way with your partner. Work together, think about it, figure out the ways that we've used that you see on the smartboard, and find another way to make 17 cents. The collaborative learning portion of the lesson, you do it together. We will be working on the smartboard in Elmo, working through the topic pack for the first 3 guided practice questions. Students will be allowed to work with their partner for 5 to 10 minutes or until the teacher observes that they are done. Guided practice directions. Count on to find the total amount. Use coins if needed. Remember to use your coin symbol. A lot of times when students start to learn about money, they just write the number 10 for a dime instead of adding the cent symbol. Also, we find in second grade that whenever students are working with money, and if it is just change, they still write the dollar symbol. So we really stress to our students to use the coin symbol throughout their work. For collaborative learning, you do it together. We will be going through the coin values and how to add on each coin to find the total amount together. If we have a dime, a nickel, and a penny, the dime would be the first coin that we would start with because it's the highest value of 10 cents. Then adding on to the nickel, which would be 5 cents, and we would go over what's 10 plus 5. That's how we would get our answer of 15. And we still have that penny hanging out on the left side. We need to add it. And therefore, we would add 1 more cent to the 15 cents that we already have, which would give us a grand total of the 3 coins as 16 cents. We try to be sure to teach the students to count on from the largest amount to the less amount. We will go over each guided learning question aloud to check for understanding and to be sure to provide the positive recognition where it is well deserved. Here you see one of our examples that we would be going over. You see 3 nickels and 3 pennies. We would add on the total amount to find the end amount that we're looking for. Starting with the first nickel, we would count 5, then 10, then 15 cents, and then we would count on the pennies. 16 cents, 17 cents, and 18 cents to give us the grand total of 18 cents. Next comes the independent practice. You do it alone. Students will be assigned homework to follow through with their newly learned skill of adding on with the dimes, nickels, and pennies. They will complete the independent practice questions on their own for homework to show the understandings of the skill. This will carry us into Topic 5, Lesson 1, Day 2, where we will pick up on the lesson with direct instruction, collaborative learning, and a formative assessment. The focus lessons with direct instruction and modeling. We will refresh on the prior knowledge about the 3 coins, review the homework assessment together aloud. The teacher will observe who is changing their answers and who is able to master the ability of the skill. We will use the thumbs up and thumbs down as a silent cue to check for understanding without the embarrassment of any of our students. Collaborative learning. We will be sure to set clear objectives in place that the students are understood before we break them up into their math stations. Students must know all the objectives before going into their group. And throughout the math stations, I have 4 groups of 3 students each. 2 stations per day. The first 3 are student-led groups, and the 4th one is a teacher-led group where I will be working with each student reteaching the math lesson. Formative assessment. To show the students' progress and understanding of the lesson, the students will work on a quick check worksheet for evaluation. See the example. There are 5 questions on our quick check. These are 2 of them. As you can see, the directions say, what is the total amount? They will work through 3 of these. The 4th question and the 5th question are written responses to check for their understanding if they're able to do the skill. Summative assessment. The summative assessment will not come until the end of the entire topic that we will be working on over the next 2 weeks. While reflecting about this topic, being able to build on prior knowledge can go a long way. Allowing your students to think back on counting by 10s, 5s, and 1s is an easy way to build and count upon their coins. It allows for the student centers to build and grow from the lessons, and it's a key to help them learn. Allowing yourself as a teacher to give effective feedback to all your students will help with being able to provide recognition. And as a teacher, the best thing that we can tell our students who are struggling is to never give up. And as a teacher, never give up on a student.